Difficulties. Tonight we're looking at 10 horror movies that changed my life. Right after this. Saw when I was actually pretty young. They used to have this like horror host show that came on when I lived up in Alberta, Canada, and every week they'd have like kind of an older film, could be like a Universal or a Hammer, and one week they put on this, and it really, really stuck with me. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors is a anthology film or portmanteau, and has Peter Cushing. We've got Christopher Lee in this one. We've got the great Canadian actor Donald Sutherland. There's a ton of fantastic actors and stories in this one. It is about some guys on a train with Peter Cushing's character who is he's telling fortunes. He's telling stories, and all the stories each revolve around the different character in the cart in the the train car. And this was kind of my first real experience with the anthology film. Like I'd seen shows like Alfred Hitchcock Presents and Twilight Zone and Boris Karloff's Thriller, stuff like that. But this was the first actual film that I watched, and I was a fledgling like young writer at the time. And the kind of the coolness of this, the whole twist ending of it, it got me to write more, and it inspired me a lot. I wrote like books upon books, like exercise books, those 32-page exercise books, full of like these short stories with twist endings, all inspired by Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, which of course would lead me to go on and look for a whole bunch of Amicus anthologies and just Amicus films in general. I love that stuff. These are fantastic ones. If you haven't seen Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, it's a great one. This is a great release. I think Vinegar Syndrome put out this one as well, with a nice 4K edition. I think my dad has it. So either way, to get this is the UK edition. I bought this one when I was in London. So anyway, you can get this one here. I recommend you pick it up. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. It's a great film. First time I saw Dario Argento's Deep Red, it was under the name The Hatch Murders, and it was hatcheted up. It was cut up a bit. This is one that, out of most of the stuff that you're going to see on there, really did like change the way that I saw things as film and art. This one gave me nightmares. There's a sequence in this film, and it makes very little sense when you really think about it. But that's the way Argento's films are. They're almost feverishly nightmare dreams, with artistic, beautiful splashes of like horror and like set pieces, like murder set pieces put in there. But there's one sequence in here with this very creepy looking doll that would inspire the characters, the people behind Saw to make their own kind of like creepy doll. But the doll in this one, every time to this very day, that sequence, when I know what's coming up, when I know that like kind of like mechanically creepy, like weird walking, strange, unusual doll is going to come into that room, I clinch up. I start to look away, and I try to force myself not to look away, to face my fears, but it still gets me every time. And I'll go to bed that night, and I'll have those same thoughts. I will look more than once towards my door just to make sure that doll isn't there. Deep Red is a culmination of the best of Giallo, of this specific type of Giallo, of the Argento Giallo. Although Tenebrae is my favorite Argento Giallo film, Deep Red is his best and most accomplished and most well done Giallo film. Everything in this is, to me, just picture and pitch perfect. From just the ultimate soundtrack that we have in this film here, to the incredible actors, and the way this is done, put together, and the reveal. Once you know, you know. But it's not something that ruins it. You can go back and watch it so many different times and just get so much more out of it. I love this film. I love all versions of it, even the truncated version that I saw when I was young. Deep Red is an incredibly well made film. It had to be here. When a Stranger Calls is one has one of the most terrifying opening 15 minutes of any film out there. It's just creepy and keeps getting creepier and creepier and creepier. But what is really, really good about this film for me, and what stood out to me when I was first deciding that I wanted to do some like writing and I wanted to work in the arts, is the character study of the serial killer after that terrifying 15 minutes. After that all starts, because you have got this like kind of what's really a mini film, because it was literally like the idea behind this film was this short film that becomes the opening of this film, and it sets it up to like you're not going to be able to top that, but we get a really nice character study in here, and one hell of an ending. When a Stranger Calls just creeps me out, and as somebody that babysat a bit as a younger person, yeah, that stuck in my mind quite a bit. And that voice over the phone of "Have you checked the children?" and just the way that that it goes, and the tension that comes keeps building and building and building till we hit that crescendo, and you're like, God, we've come to this. Can we do anything? Can we go anywhere up past this? Now, what's really great is that years later, When a Stranger Calls would have a sequel. And unlike a lot of films, its sequel would be extremely good. This is from Second Sight, and I'm pretty sure this edition is out of print, so you can find this one. Congratulations, kudos on you. But the standard edition, I think, is still available out there, and it does include the film and the sequel. About me that some of you guys don't know, and this is going to be new to some of you. So, Chopping Mall was a movie that meant a lot to me. I actually love this film. I think it is the perfect little kind of fun, thrown in any time, kind of just a really cool little film with an incredible cast. We got Kelly Maroney in this one. Barbara Crampton is in this film. It is so good. It's done by the late Jim Wynorski. And if you have not seen Chopping Mall, you own it. You owe it to yourself to own this film, to watch this film, and to love this film the way I do. Chopping Mall was a movie that meant a lot to me because there was a time when I actually thought about, during the VHS days, of starting my own label. And the title that I wanted to look into getting the rights to start said label was going to be Chopping Mall. I wanted to do a genre label before genre labels were really real thing, aside from maybe like Star Maker. And this was pre like Anchor Bay days, and I looked so hard into like acquiring the rights to this film because I really wanted to put out a good edition of it. So when I finally saw this, first get a DVD release and then get this like wonderful Blu-ray release that I recommend to everybody. It's a Vestron Video Collector series. Got some great stuff in here as well. If you have not seen it, like see it. It's really really good, and I love Chopping Mall. I think it's actually a fun, fantastic film. Other title, Killbots, which may be more representative of the film, but who doesn't love a film named Chopping Mall? Self-professed movie aficionado and lover, I both love this film, and when I initially saw it, was extremely disturbed by Fade to Black. Dennis Christopher I'd seen earlier in a film called Breaking Away, which I absolutely fell in love with, and to this day it is just one of those films that every time I watch it, it takes me back. And Fade to Black is much the same when it comes out. Dennis Christopher plays a guy that is very immersed and very in love with cinema and films, too much so. In fact, so much so that it affects his life in some very, very sick and twisted ways. One of the things about this film is when, after years of having it being hyped up and not being released, a lot of people that hadn't seen this film expected this to be this incredible slasher film. Fade to Black is not a slasher film. It is a psychological thriller. It is a horror film about a horror fan. It's got a early performance by young Mickey Rourke in here. There is a girl that plays a Marilyn Monroe looking, and she's so good. But the movie itself is stolen by Dennis Christopher and just such the incredible performance that he puts off. Fade to Black was put up by Vinegar Syndrome. I think it is one of their absolutely best releases that they've ever put out. And I hold this one near and dear to my heart. I adore this film. I have not one, but two t-shirts. They put out two limited edition t-shirts for Fade to Black. One I think that's still available, one that was only available during the weekend that they announced this one here. So I pre-ordered this one immediately. There's not a lot of films that like nowadays that'll grab me to pre-order, but Fade to Black was one of those. And if you have never seen this, it is just an incredible film that has a love for cinema and a love for cinema lovers, even if sometimes it doesn't feel like it does. It is creepy and it will make you think. And in some ways, it'll chill you a bit more if you're a movie fan. No one is Black Christmas. It's the film that started it all. It's the film that made me a cinephile, that made me fall in love with movies, that made me look at movies in a different light. I feel like I watched movies uh, in a different way before Black Christmas than I did after Black Christmas. It was like the world was flat and all of a sudden it became three-dimensional. From the opening like tracking shot of Black Christmas to the beautiful sequence with the murder done with the unicorn, juxtaposed with the singing of the carol, and just the incredible everything about this film made me fall in love with it. I didn't want to just know the film. I wanted to know everything about the film. I wanted to know everything behind the film. I wanted to know about the actors, about the director. I wanted to know as much as I could about the camera work, about how the sound was done. This is the movie that made me want to know movies, the movie that made me fall in love with movies. If you've never seen Black Christmas, it is an incredible film. It's got a wonderful cast. The late Olivia Hussey is in this one. We got the wonderful John Saxon in here. The incredible and severely underrated to this day Margot Kidder is in this one. The great Andrea Martin and the Keir Dullea is in this. And the wonderful Art Hindle, who's a fantastic Canadian actor that doesn't get talked about enough, who's done just some incredible stuff. Black Christmas is about a sorority that is being haunted by an extremely disturbed telephone call, or that's giving like really obscene phone calls. And we know right from the beginning of the film that that caller is, much like mentioned in an earlier one, in the house. But this one goes much more realistic, much darker, and the other one started with two kids being killed. So this one here is just an incredible one for film. This edition right here is the Seasons Grievings edition. It's a Canadian exclusive edition for Black Christmas. And it's really neat because inside of it we have this wonderful artwork right here. And inside of that we have, so for those that are from Canada or don't know, the Rue Morgue is the kind of the Canadian Fangoria. And we have a mini Rue Morgue magazine here, all centered on Black Christmas. There's some incredible features on here. This is a Blu-ray. It's not the 4K that came out from Scream Factory, but there's only one feature on the 4K that I really need it for. So I will eventually buy that because it's a feature that is ironically, a Canadian feature. It's a CBC TV show that focused on Black Christmas. That's not on here. So I will definitely be getting that in the future. I also have Black Christmas on VHS, by the way, and on DVD as well, because it is it is my favorite film across the board. The New York Ripper is one of two Lucio Fulci films that are going to be on this list here tonight. New York Ripper is just a favorite film of mine. I have always loved and adored this film. I have the Blue Underground special edition with the soundtrack. I have I've got so many editions of this movie, and I absolutely adore it. There's just something weird and sleazy and grimy, but still so New York about this film by an Italian director. It's really, really well done, but it's not going to be for everyone. This is definitely, it is a dark, disgusting, gritty, creepy film with a killer that talks a bit like a duck. But there's a reason for that. I recently read, and I won't give it away, a specific comic book series, an adaptation of a horror film that had a surprise appearance and an important appearance by the duck sounding New York Ripper himself. So I'll leave that for you to find. But if you're a fan of this, you're definitely gonna want to get that comic book series. It's only 3 issues. This is really, really good, and I love this movie. By the way, this 4K edition here by Blue Underground is an absolute revelation. If you have not seen it, if you want to see what 4K can do, New York Ripper's a way to see what 4K can do. Now, if you've already got the 4K upscaled edition of it, you're probably good. But if you don't, I would go for the 4K edition. This one for sure. It is loaded with special features, and Blue Underground just did an incredible job with New York Ripper. It's one of my favorite films, and I watch it at least like 3 or 4 times a year. The Fulci film is the third in the Gates of Hell trilogy. Of course, we have The Beyond and City of the Living Dead. Now, this was the first of the trilogy that I saw. I did not see them in order, and I would see them later on, and then I watched them all together. Each one of these are absolutely fantastic. The Beyond and City of the Living Dead are considered classics. This one gets maligned a lot of the times because of a very annoying character within the film. I think that, yeah, the character is annoying, but you know what? This is still a fantastic freaking film. The gore in this one is incredible. The story is a lot of fun, and Dr. Freudenstein still kind of creeps me out. It's got that weird esoteric ending. Lucio Fulci's like Gates Hell trilogy is this gore, murder set piece, ghost story, just art tale. It's just amazingly well done, and it's beyond what a lot of people would, pardon the pun, expect a film like this to be like. Lucio Fulci is an incredible filmmaker, and when he is on the top of his game, he's really literally on the absolute top of his game. And for me, this one was the one that I saw long before I saw the New York Ripper, and I watched this one over and over again as a young kid, and it just blew my mind. This is such an incredible film, and I do own the comic book adaptation of this from Avant Press, which is absolutely fantastic too. Slight cheat because it's really 2 movies. First, of course, is the original Scream. I think this is an absolutely wonderful film that helped revitalize, reinvigorate, and just bring the slasher genre back. It brought it back in a different way, and it took me a while to get used to this different, for me, a kind of more meta slasher. But I fell in love with this movie pretty much right away. But the film that shook me in this franchise is not the best film in the franchise, but it's one of the ones that got under my skin the most, and that's Scream 4. If you know Scream 4, a lot of people hate that because of the way that's shot, because of that soap opera effect look, which I disagree. But I understand why some people mightn't like that. What I do think is that Scream 4 has the best ending out of all the Scream films. And I'm not talking about the reveal. The reveal, it's hard to beat the reveal in the first one, though. It's kind of, nowadays, I guess, it's kind of obvious. But back then, it was pretty shocking. But the absolute ending of this film, the ending, it chilled me. As a guy that does a lot of work on social media, the motives behind this and the way that this ends and the way that this goes, yeah, it shook me. The Raider report, the look in those cold dead eyes. Check it out. With another 2-4, and this is The Wonderful Demons and Demons 2. Produced by Dario Argento and directed by the son of Mara Bava, Lamberto Bava, Demons and Demons 2 are just two incredibly well done and really fun films. Demons is an utter classic set in a theater where everybody suddenly gets locked in and people start turning to the demons like the ones on the screen in the film that they're watching. It is fantastic. It's gory. It's got one hell of a killer rockin' soundtrack. Uh, Man, it's got a fantastic soundtrack for this one here. And it is so cool. And it's so cool. If you ever get to watch Demons in a theater, it's just such a wonderful experience. And as wonderful as Demons is watched in a theater, I think Demons 2 is a great home video release because now we've moved from the theater to home video. And now they're watching a tape, which is, I think, the same film or suspiciously like the same film from the first movie at a birthday party. They're in an apartment complex where, again, the creatures on the TV are going to start coming out of that screen and infecting the people. And it is just such a wonderful film. Keep an eye out for an early appearance by Ozzy Argento in Demons 2. Again, a great soundtrack. It's hard to beat the soundtrack in Demons, though. It's probably one of the best soundtracks out there, especially for this like 80s fan of like just incredible like music. It got some nice hard rock, some pop, some incredible stuff. Some Billy Idol's in here. And if you've never seen these two films, they are a visual feast for the eyes. They are a feast for the ears. And they're just wonderful, extremely well done films. This is the 4K edition that was put out by Synapse Films, which is an absolutely fantastic company. The releases, they take a long time to get them done, but when you get them in your hands and you put them into your player, you realize why they've taken so long to do them, because they've put in so much work into each and every release that they did. When I picked this one up, I didn't even have to blink on if I was going to grab this one. I do have the Arrow Steelbook edition, like for the Blu-ray as well. So I have Blu-ray and 4K for this one. What's neat about this one here is it came with the Metropole Gold ticket, facsimile of the tickets given out that people have to give to get into the theater for that very special screening of that horror film where they get stuck, as well as Sally Day's birthday party. So that is incredibly cool, her birthday party invitation. You don't want to miss out because, or maybe you do. It even came with a nice little poster as well, but I won't take that out right now. And it's just a wonderful film. Each one of these came on their own 4K discs, and I love the Demons films. You can buy this on Blu-ray too if you don't have a 4K player. Either way, I think Demons and Demons 2 are two that should be in everybody's collection. They're just so good. They're so well done, and I absolutely adore everything about these films. I don't think there's a bad or wasted second in these films. I don't think there's a character that I don't truly like in some way. Like to hate. There's kind of a badass kind of pimp character in the first one that is super cool, and I kind of was rooting for him. But he's not the hero, but he's just a badass character. He's really cool. But these here are just some incredible films. So there you go. All in all, you really got more than 10 films. But these are films here that I love, films that I adore. These are my favorite editions of these films. And I will always go back to horror and the horror genre when I'm stressed, when I just want to have a good time, when I just love the genre of horror, and I love the way that tension makes me personally feel. I love that, and I feel that for me, it's like going on a roller coaster ride, and then when you get off the roller coaster ride, like, oh my, that was insane. Like, why did I do that? But I'm down in the ground now, and I survived it. And watching a horror film for me is a lot like that. It's especially when they can get under your skin a bit. Even when there's little creepy dolls that are going to make you look at the door a few times at night. I love these films, and hopefully you enjoy this video. And I'll see you next time right here in the Cult of Cinema. Oh God! Subscription sloth here. Just want to remind you that I know in the summertime especially it can be super warm and lazy. But if you're liking this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go that step farther and join the Patreon, there's a link for that down below. You can super sticker, super chat, or donate. But above all, just lie back and enjoy the video, because that's what I'm going to do.